Hello. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back to the stream. New setup. New stream. New illness. I got I caught a bug, I think, in New York. So I'm a little under the weather. But well enough to watch Survivor is kind of the goal here. Thank you for all the subscriptions. Cody illness, exactly. It has been for like the last time I streamed, I think was Sunday, the Big Brother finale. I had to skip last Survivor episode because I was in New York. Got some kittens back there. We have the original design for the Kellis plushie, and then some new ones. Madeline, thank you for the 11th. But thank you all so much for all these subscriptions. So many. 33 in a row. Thank you, Camille. Your dog destroyed the Callus plushie. Oh no. Thanks for the 100. I was very happy to see everyone get their Callus plushies. I got a few for myself. You watched the Tastemakers, nice. Been plugging away. Listen, I've been sick, so I've had nothing to do but watch things. I've been watching a lot of things for Tastemakers. Hold on, the lighting is... That's a bit bright. That's fine. I'm also slightly out of focus. Okay, let's fix that a tiny bit. All right. Watch your first Tastemakers. Loved it. Nice. Loving the Tastemakers. Attention. We should be starting very soon here. Let me throw up a prediction. Commercial buy. Uh, 5:13. There's the prediction. Someone say my mic was quiet. It does look super quiet. You're right. All right, we're back. We're live. Wait, why is this Rome narrating the previously on. Hold on, I need to figure out this. What a great episode last week was. Okay. Am I any louder? No, I'm not. I'll work on it in a sec. I actually love that from Andy. What's the incentive for Rachel to not tell Andy about the idol? Okay, credits. Um, what I liked about, I don't know if I said this already. What I liked about Andy going back to the beach, um, and handling that was like the way he was like, I felt like Annika was a wedge between us. She always wanted me out. Like he basically gave her the script for her excuse to him for why she voted for him. And left the door wide open for like their relationship to rekindle or develop even from here, which I think is solid. I mean, it's like, you know, we'll see, but I liked the approach. All right. Opening credits are over. Okay, here we go. It's day 11. They really have to say that? You're really just pointing out how quickly the merge comes nowadays. So the numbers right now, it's 445. Survivor High School. They're gonna come here and look through our bags? She's she's cleaning up as they're showing up. If this is Survivor High School, she's like trying to quickly clean up the after party mess before her parents get home and they're pulling in the driveway. Hidden somewhere. No hint. Oh wow. That was abrupt. That's a yes to the commercial. Next prediction. What tribe is the person who gets the advantage? You know what I'm talking about. What original tribe? It's blue, red, yellow? Yeah. What tribe does the person who gets the advantage come from? That's the prediction. Okay. My audio is quiet. Let me try. How's this? Same. Why is it capped like that? Hmm. I mean, it's not a huge problem because you can just turn me up, but it's strange. Like if I come down, yeah, okay. Huh. It's like it's being super compressed. Does it sound compressed? There's no, and then if I do this, this should have zero compression at all, I think. So now it shouldn't sound compressed at all, but it's still in the same spot. So, I don't know. It's just quiet. There's got to be a limiter or something on here, or some kind of like extreme compression. Scream! Ah! It's still capping out at the same. At least in OBS, it's capping. It's capping at like -20, which is not that bad, but like it's like a hard cap, and I'm not sure where that is coming from. I'm not sure what effect is being put on it, but listen, what are you gonna do? We're gonna get back soon. In fact, we are back. I'll record myself and listen to it in a sec. Or you know what? I could just listen to my Twitch stream. Next commercial, I'll do it. Trip was good. Grueling. Long trip. Luckily, I managed to avoid getting sick until I got back. No vote, Kyle. So, this is weird because I met like most of these people last week. Not that they were actually there, of course. Who's the most different from the? Honestly, they all seem the same. Of course, they immediately find the paint. They think it has to do with the advantage. What a mess. How did you have days to figure this out? And it's just everywhere. I would never want Sue as a roommate. What did you think was gonna happen? It was everywhere. The cops are coming. Oh, Genevieve. It is an advantage for the Blue Tribe that this is their beach. And yet, yeah. Well, the advantage is just for the challenge, so there's no point in hiding it. Yeah, I don't know why Caroline thinks that she'll be able to hide Sue's secret when there was someone else there with her. What a funny way to tell her. Oh boy. Okay, so the one interaction I will tell you about um, is that I met Genevieve's cousin, and she came up to me and she goes, I hear you like to storm the gates at airports. What's up with that? Somebody snitched on me. Who was it? For those of you that don't know, I did the pet peeve stream plus podcast. One of her pet peeves were airport themed. And one of them was people who like storm the gates when they're not called. But listen, I have a witness. Okay? I flew to New York with one Robert Sesternino, if we want to call him to the stand. And I showed him exactly what the tactic is. Okay? I'm not pushing anyone out of the way. I'm not even standing in anyone's way. I'm just strategically placing myself in an advantageous position so that when my group is called, I am one of the first people in. That's it. I'm not in the way. I stand out of the way. Just in position. There's usually some sort of pillar. I love standing against a pillar, because then I can't be in anyone's way. And then I just pay attention. And then as soon as I know that I can see the lady, usually it's a lady. I can see her as she brings the thing up to call my group. Then I start moving. Guaranteed, first couple spots. I want to make sure they don't check my bag. I got to make sure I got spots in the overhead. All right, we're back. Oh, I didn't do a prediction. That was Red Tribe. Oops. Wait, did we miss a night? What's happening? I need a prediction. Whatever, we'll skip this one. Rome has a great evil smirk face. This is what Rome does. I was waiting for this. Dogs, and it's crap, crap, crap. I'm fixing to squish him like a bug. Man, seeing fired up Kyle is fun. All right, next prediction is, do we get the challenge? Do we get the challenge in the next segment? Okay. Yeah, I think the audio is just gonna have to exist as it is for now, but I'll work on figuring it out next time. Yeah, it's just quiet. It's the this the is the thing. I think it's fine for now. I would tell you the wired earbuds I use. I don't think they make them anymore. I've had to buy a bunch of replacements, and they stopped making them. They were just like cheap, $10 earbuds. I hate in ear earbuds, so I just have like they just sit on the outside. Anyway, I told Genevieve's cousin um, about my airport tactic. I don't think she bought it. She didn't seem like it made a difference. All right, we're back. And it is a challenge. Okay. It's going to be yellow and blue. Which color wins? Yellow or blue? Is that good news? I feel like that's not good news. Oh, I feel like I heard about this. So, it's basically the merge. It's the merge. That's no different. One will be saved, 12 will not. That's exactly what happens at a merge. You're just not feeding half of them. She just gets to she gets a bye to the individual round. That's pretty good. Yeah, for the record, I'm not complaining. I mean, this is better. It's just a silly framing device. Schoolyard pick. Wait, I'm seeing in the chat that we're not going to see the picks. He made a whole point of saying it was a schoolyard pick and then didn't show him at all. Do we even find out who the captains were? Wait, really? What was the point of pointing it out? Oof. See, I'm okay with them being covered in mud now because I know who they are. Oof, God, the head bumps. Woo, slippery. Why not do the mud with your shirt off if you're a guy? Fair point. I mean, if you do it with your shirt on, you still have the ability to take it off. But given that nobody has their shirt off, yeah, there's probably a rule. Ooh, yellow ahead. Oh, that's fun. We did an escape room in New York, and I fished a metal plate out of a radiator looking thing with some dog tags. I was supposed to use a magnet, but instead I just used the edge of the dog tag. We didn't do Squid Game because it was sold out. Ooh. Ooh. That's oh, she fell. Making and missing the attempts up the ramp is bad because you're just spreading mud all over. Whew. Don't use hands. Let her climb the rope. It's gonna be easier with the rope. The look on her face. Woo! There you go. That was good teamwork right there. Yeah, the sandbags were not the call. Yeah, they did put Rome on the I guess, I mean, Rome failed the puzzle. This is, it's a maze, but it's more about the skill. Oh, Jeff calling out Frankie Grande. Two players is a lot harder than one on this kind of thing. Is there swap outs? No. Bro, relax. I don't mind the fast strategy, to be honest. Because if you take your time, you make one slip up, you're screwed. But if you go fast, woo, they're in there. Oh, yellow. If you go fast, you can make mistakes and learn from them. But I don't know, maybe with two people, it's not as good. Yellow wins. Next prediction. Who wins immunity? We got Sue, Sam, Kyle. Who else is on the team? Sue, Sam, Kyle, Sierra, Teeny, Rachel, and Genevieve. Genevieve was not on the team, but she will be competing. Who wins immunity? Well, we know now that Rome cannot win immunity. Kyle still can. Tiana can't. Those so far have felt like the names being thrown out there. You could maybe see Sue as a potential. Just in terms of like who has been talked about, who has had a presence in this episode that it would make sense that they might actually go. All right, big money on Kyle, Sam, Sierra, and Genevieve, all with big amounts. Rachel in there with 8%, and then Teeny and Sue down at the bottom. I didn't get a good look at what the challenge was. Looked like it could be some kind of endurance. I mean, it's likely some kind of endurance, but like, what kind is the question? Do I miss the North Carolina political ads? Man, they were constant and so wild. Did you know that Kamala Harris paid for a prisoner to get a sex change? Stop the woke. I mean, to be fair, that's also like Twitter nowadays. Wait, wait, they got the Ghosts actors to do a Survivor commercial. That was funny. I would love to use a different Twitter service, but I keep hearing that nobody uses any of the other ones. Here we go. Genevieve being so clean for this is very funny to me. What's the trick to this challenge? Honestly, well, I don't like Genevieve's grip, I will tell you. Sierra is out. I think you want as wide a grip as possible. So you want your hands like as far to the edge as possible. That's what Sam has going on. But he's out. Yeah, over or underhand is a good question. I think if you try over, that'll start to get taxing. I think under is probably better. Because even just doing this, like, the wrist position is not great. I think your wrists would start to hurt. This is definitely a more, yeah, more neutral position. Ooh, that's a good point too. Yeah, tilting it a little bit to put as much friction on the wall of it as possible. It's obviously a dangerous game, but you don't want to tilt too much. But like, yeah, I think that's definitely something to do. Genevieve, back to a narrow grip. I think you stay under. The other thing about under two is that you can use your body to rest your elbows on. Rachel's out. And I also think what Genevieve did, if it's starting to fall off the edge, no, she didn't do it that time. Don't be too timid. I think you need to go aggressive when it starts to fall off. You can aggressively pull it back and then try to catch it. I think it's better than just letting it slowly fall off. Because it's a really big drop off. Yeah, Sue with a big tilt. It's definitely helping. Teeny looks away for a second. Yeah, you can see Sue's is like rolling on the wall. So we have the most voted for versus the least voted for in the prediction. Kyle does not look great to me. His position there does not look good. He's heavily balanced on one foot, but Sue doesn't have the arm balance right now. I don't think Kyle can handle this. I think his balance is off with his feet. Oh, but Sue's racking. Oh, down she goes. Kyle. All right, my guy Kyle's safe. It does seem Halloween-y. I'm interested to see if there's any sort of psychological impact to splitting them into two groups like this. Because typically how this works is that the immune group discusses who they're going to vote out from the vulnerable group. Um, oh. Um, so, I'm curious to see if that stays the same. I assume it'll stay the same. That the immune players at the meal will discuss who they want to vote out from the other group. But the question is, does the group of does the losing group have a similar situation? Do they then try to discuss who from the winning group should we vote out? They're not immune, yeah. Or do they kind of end up in a similar spot, even though it's not the same anymore? Okay, prediction. Hmm. How about, does anyone mention Sue's idol? So, this is a little bit subjective, but I will take any mention of Sue's idol in confessional, in conversation, and I will accept a reference to Sue's idol. It doesn't have to specifically be the words Sue's idol, but it has to be a clear enough reference that I'm like, yeah, they're referencing Sue's idol. That's the prediction. Including by Sue. She mentions her own idol. If that's too subjective for you, this isn't the prediction for you. Talking about the paint is not enough. They have to know about the idol. And they have to know it's Sue. So right now, the only people that can reference Sue's idol are Sue, Tiana, and Caroline. But that could change. Will they look in her bag is very funny. The summit. Wait, did they just spoil the whole episode? So between us, um, we have you have likely noticed this if you watch the summit coverage. We're back. We're back. We'll talk about the summit in a second. Man, it got dark. Not the charcuterie. Yeah, I would have a lot of trouble eating with all that mud on me. That he is me. I'm waiting for the alternative. Andy. I think that's right. The Rome show. Here's the problem. If Rome, they're making it very obvious that Rome is like the target, which makes you feel like Saul now. Did you hear me yell at me? So He is entertaining, but the problem is that it's so clear that Rome's like stock in the game is so low that if he doesn't go now, he's gonna be like the alternate vote every single week until he goes. It was honestly so clutch for Saul to have gotten ahead of Rome's lying. Can I get a reminder? The three amulets come together to make an idol? Is that how it is? Okay. Okay, so now Saul is the alternate name. Why did we even bother with Andy being the potential alternate? That's got to be important for some reason. Okay, that's why we heard about it. The alternate. Andy is the alternate to the alternate. Man, they really love these downfall edits. That was a no, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. I didn't hear a single Sue Idol reference. Okay. Next prediction. I'm gonna go with a little bit of a weird one. I think we're gonna do now, and it's possible I missed this. They didn't say who they were gonna play the amulet idol on, right? They just said they were gonna use it. So, who is the amulet idol played on? Is it Andy, Caroline, or Teeny? Those are the three that have it, right? And then I'm going to say other, or nobody. Oh, they okay. Well, I'll put Saul as well. Saul, other, nobody. All right, there's the prediction. Who is the amulet idol played on? Nobody means it's not played at all. Other means it's somebody other than Saul, Teeny, Caroline, or Andy. And then the names are pretty self-explanatory. Spinner, thank you for the 34th in a row. So, okay, something Sam is doing that's interesting. They kind of threw it in there. Sam, I believe, if I caught this correctly, Sam told Saul, "You vote Andy, so that in the event that Rome plays an idol or something, or shot in the dark, and votes for you, then we can break a tie and take out Andy because I'd rather have you in the game than Andy." Which you can't really take back, right? If that does end up happening, you do lose Andy. But the benefit of that is that he's been trying to hide his alliance with Andy. I'm super curious about how, like, what is the story they told the other tribes about what went down on their tribe? Because Andy had that public meltdown, and I think people probably expected Andy to go. And so the fact that Andy's not gone certainly implies that he has aligned with some of them, and they already suspect that Sam and Sierra are a duo. It's not like Rachel has a ton of incentive to keep her mouth completely shut. So, like, what is the perception of what happened on that tribe? And is what Sam doing trying to prevent that perception from growing? In which case, I kind of like it, right? Like, whatever story they're telling, they're clearly trying to imply that Andy's not important to them. All right, we're back. And the actual odds of Rome escaping this vote are pretty low. So putting Andy in a little bit of the line of fire here could be worth the upside of being able to get in with people in the right way. Like, I know it's been super obvious that it's Rome, but like, I feel like it can't not be Rome at this point, unless there's a live tribal situation. Like, given what we've seen so far, it just doesn't make sense to me that it would be anybody else. Kyle, you're kind of giving away the game there. I think Rome understands what you're talking about when you say that. Jeff's taking notes. Don't be not looking for his advantages. My heart is breaking. No. I mean, this is come on. This is Rome's episode. It has to be his boot episode. Good for him. This is really like this is like this is like a Make-A-Wish situation. Like he's on survivor death's door. Oh, we're still going. Andy. Honestly, I could be wrong. I feel like at this point, the making the merge thing, I feel like it's not as big a deal anymore. I feel like the mergatory kind of wrecked that. What? He's voting him out in German? Well, that was German, right? I think I recognize that from like 4 years of taking German classes. I mean, to be fair, Sam, it was only one for you. Saul does write the Andy vote. Man, they really. He votes Sam? He doesn't even vote Saul? That's actually so funny because if Sam might have actually, like, in the event that Rome had an idol or played his, I guess played Shot in the Dark wouldn't have mattered, but like, in the event that there actually needed to be some kind of alternative vote, Sam would have saved himself potentially by getting Saul to vote Andy. Teeny is the choice. Only 2% put money on Teeny. Huge return. That's got to be scary to see if you're Sam. Two votes, Andy. Oh, was the plan to put two votes on Andy and just not break a tie? Was I the backup plan? Oh, interesting. Interesting. Okay, the reason they made such a big deal of this, Andy's gonna be pissed about this. Saul's face. That was nice. I liked that. I think that was a fun exit. He took it well. He got to sit in the seat. No, listen, Annika's exit was fantastic for an entirely different reason. We got him out. All right. So it seems like Saul voted Andy and maybe also Sam voted Andy. Is that possible? Because I only like I was kind of talking during the conversation. I thought Sam was saying Saul would put a vote on Andy, um, so that it would be like a 1-1 situation in the event that Rome played an idol. But to put two votes on Andy, Because like you can just break a tie and evict and vote out Andy. To put another vote on Andy is unnecessary, in my opinion, because now it's not just Saul who's like, oh, I knew I was the plan. I had to put a vote on someone else. It's like it's Saul and somebody else, and it feels a lot more coordinated. And it's like, okay, well, who is the other person that put a vote on Andy? And it makes Andy feel a lot less secure. Because, like, if it's one vote on Andy, you can say, oh, well, don't worry, Andy. We would have saved you in the event of a tie. But two votes on Andy makes you feel particularly vulnerable. Makes you feel like, damn, if he did have an idol, I was gone. Especially the fact that he had an amulet idol, could have used it on himself, but instead used it on Teeny. And so if everyone was in on him being the backup plan, like that feels especially messed up. So it just doesn't feel well handled or played. I would imagine like there's definitely a possibility that this was a mistake, that somebody else just happened to throw a vote on Andy, and it kind of screwed them up here. All right. Yep. Eat all of the men. Yeah, Andy. I mean, in the preview at least, which probably means it's not fully happening, but so Sue votes Andy. I mean, Sue would track as like a rogue extra vote on Andy and just messing up the plan. Which that's tough. That's rough because I like I said I do think that was not a bad play from Sam. Um, but you can't. The extra vote on Andy hurts it a lot because it was a risky play to begin with, and now it's become a lot riskier. If it was coordinated, then it's just straight up, I think, a bad play. D.D. Wilder, thank you. The 54th month in a row. Good episode though. You know, like the last two were like these big blindsidey episodes. Big moves were made. You know, it was fun. This was a lot more of a straightforward downfall episode, but it was a downfall that had been building for the entire pre-merge. So I think it makes a lot of sense. Yes, it was predictable, but like I've said this before, I'd rather have an episode that is less predictable if it means better storytelling. And I think this episode is a perfect example of that, because there's a world where we watched this episode and it's trying to hide the fact that it was very obviously Rome the whole time, and it's trying to trick us into thinking that that it might actually be Andy or might actually be Saul, and we end up missing a ton of stuff, including like this setup for why Andy's pissed in the next episode, right? Like there's actual interesting stuff here setting up future events that we can go in on because we're not having to hide the end result of Rome leaving. And I think this worked. I think this worked well. I liked this. If it was just a clear group consensus, show it as a clear group consensus. Give us the truth. I'll take that over a surprise or anything like that any day. So I thought that was another good episode for sure. Um, what I was going to say about the summit is that you might have already noticed. We've had some. We've been able to record the summit ahead of time. Just between us, we've got some screeners for the summit. So I've already watched this episode. I haven't watched the future. I just watch one at a time, where then we podcast about it. But that's how we've been doing summit recaps. Yeah, not hard to notice when I'm in different places. I don't think I would have been able to cover the summit otherwise. I don't have access to the full season now. But yeah, that's why I was so surprised watching the preview where I feel like they spoiled half the episode in that preview, but you know, what are you gonna do? If you want my full thoughts on the summit, you can check out the podcast. I'm sure it'll be up fairly shortly after the episode. I'm not sure when it goes up actually. But I think it has promise. I think it's worth checking out, if only for like the second episode. It just feels like it doesn't always know like what it wants to be and where to put its focus. But I do think there's some interesting like social strategy gameplay going on. I just want to see more of it, to be honest. And more murders. That's mostly it's mostly my thought. But it's a fun little podcast we do over on it. So all right. That was the Survivor episode. I will tell you, I have reached out to Chelsea. I don't think she's seen the message yet. I'm not sure what the best way to reach her is at the moment. But I have started the ball rolling there. We'll see where it goes. And I have, of course, talked a little bit with Quinn about doing some post-season stuff. So that is the current progress. I am also sick, so probably we'll get back to Goose Goose on Sunday. That's the plan. As long as I'm not still sick. But we'll see. No Goose Goose this week. Oh, there you go. I guess it'll be next week. I do definitely need some rest. Maybe some clock tower, depending on what Dwight's up to. All right. Anyway, thanks for hanging out. Glad to be back. I'll of course be back next week for next week's Survivor. And then we'll work on this postseason Big Brother stuff for sure. And yeah, that's what I got. I'll see you all next time.